April 1945. The bunker walls are shaking. Hitler knows it's over. But what he said in those final days would shock the world. His own generals couldn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. Some thought he'd completely lost his mind. Others realized he'd been planning something far worse than anyone imagined. Because his last command wasn't about surrender. It was about making sure Germany would burn with him. Let's go back to when Hitler first knew. It wasn't in April. It was much earlier. January 1943. The Battle of Stalingrad was ending. Over 300,000 German soldiers were trapped in the frozen Russian city. They were starving. They were dying. And Hitler refused to let them retreat. His generals begged him. They showed him the maps. They showed him the numbers. But Hitler said no. Then the news came. Field Marshal Paulus surrendered. An entire German army gone. Hitler sat in silence for hours. His hands were shaking. Some say this was the moment he knew, the moment the war turned. But he didn't tell anyone. Instead, he made a decision that would haunt Germany forever. What was that decision? Total war. No retreats, no mercy. Hitler gave a speech to his inner circle. He said Germany would fight until the last bullet, until the last man. He said if Germany couldn't win, then Germany didn't deserve to exist. Those words sent chills through the room. Even the most loyal Nazis looked uncomfortable. But it got worse. Hitler started talking about something called the Nero Decree, named after the Roman emperor who burned his own city. Hitler wanted to destroy everything: bridges, factories, power plants, food supplies. He wanted to leave nothing for the Allies, nothing for the German people either. His own minister, Albert Speer, was horrified, because Hitler wasn't just losing a war anymore. He was planning Germany's suicide. March 1945. The Allies are closing in. Hitler signs the Nero Decree officially. The order is clear. Destroy all infrastructure. Burn the farms. Blow up the bridges. Leave nothing standing. German generals receive these orders, and they're stunned. Some refuse to obey. Others pretend they never got the message, because they know what this means. Hitler doesn't care about Germany anymore. He only cares about his legacy. Albert Speer goes to the bunker. He tries to reason with Hitler. He says the German people need these resources to survive. Hitler's response is cold. He says, if the war is lost, the people will be lost too. He says the strong will survive, the weak deserve to perish. These weren't the words of a leader. They were the words of a man who'd already given up. But there's something even darker coming. April 20th, 1945. Hitler's 56th birthday. The bunker is filled with smoke and dust. Soviet artillery is pounding Berlin from every direction. Hitler's staff throws him a small party. There's cake, there's wine, but Hitler barely touches anything. He sits in his chair staring at maps that no longer matter. His hands shake constantly now. His left arm hangs useless at his side. His generals give him reports. The reports are all bad. The Americans are coming from the west. The Soviets from the east. Berlin is surrounded. There's no escape. No reinforcements coming. Hitler's face shows nothing. He nods slowly. Then he says something that makes everyone freeze. He says Germany fought well, but the German people let him down. He's blaming the victims, the people who followed him into this nightmare. And his final plan is about to unfold.
April 22, 1945. Hitler has a complete breakdown. His staff hears screaming from his room. When they enter, Hitler is raging. He's yelling about traitors, about cowards, about how everyone abandoned him. He throws maps across the room. He accuses his generals of lying to him for years. Some of them just stand there. They've seen this before, but this time is different. For the first time, Hitler admits it. He says the war is lost. He says he's staying in Berlin. He says he'll never surrender, never be captured. He'd rather die than face the Soviets. His staff begs him to escape, to fly south to the mountains. There's still time. Hitler refuses, because he's already made his choice, and he's taking others with him. The people closest to him would pay the ultimate price. April 29, 1945. The Soviets are blocks away. Hitler marries Eva Braun in the bunker. It's a strange, quiet ceremony. There's no music, no celebration, just a quick legal process. The next day, Hitler writes his will. In it, he blames everyone but himself. He blames the Jews, the communists, the traitors in his own ranks. He says he always wanted peace. This is a lie, but he writes it anyway. Then he gives his final orders. His body must be burned. Eva's too. He doesn't want the Soviets to parade his corpse through Moscow. He's seen the photos of Mussolini, hung upside down in Milan, beaten and spat on. He won't let that happen. April 30, 1945, Hitler says goodbye to his staff. His hands are shaking. His voice is quiet. Then he walks into his private room. What Hitler said in those final moments, we'll never fully know. But we know what he left behind. A nation in ruins, millions dead, cities turned to ash, and an ideology so poisonous it would haunt humanity forever. Hitler shot himself that afternoon. Eva Braun took poison beside him. Their bodies were carried outside, doused in gasoline, and set on fire, just like he wanted for Germany. The Nero Decree was mostly ignored. Smart German officers refused to follow it. They saved bridges. They saved factories. They chose their people over a madman's final rage. Hitler's last words to the world were words of blame and hatred. He never took responsibility. He never showed remorse. He realized Germany would lose, but he never realized it was his fault. That's what makes this story so haunting. A man who destroyed a nation and couldn't see his own reflection in the ashes. Hitler's last words on losing the war revealed his true nature. What Hitler said when Germany would lose World War II wasn't remorse. Hitler's final words blamed everyone else. His political testament, 1945, showed no regret. Hitler's last days and quotes exposed pure denial. His admission of defeat, WW2, came with hatred. Hitler's thoughts on Germany's defeat, they deserved to lose because they weren't strong enough. He never understood it was him.